Very pleasant good evening to our listening audience, and welcome to the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. We're here for another night of the X's and O's show, here to bring you information about Wildcat football. Our guys aren't faring so well as of right now, but we hope to get that back on track this weekend up in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I'd like to bring in my co-host, Mr. Ralph Smith, and my other guy, CC. We missed you last weekend, CC. Glad to have you back in the studio with us. I know you were here with us in spirit. You were dealing with some things that just wasn't a good week for you last week at all. Ralph, we'll go to you first, man. How you feeling this week?
I feel it was time to win. I think South Carolina State, it's time to eat.
It's definitely time to eat. Our Wildcats, we got to get back to our winning ways. We're coming back to something that's familiar to us, and that's going into the MEAC to play South Carolina State this weekend up there in Orangeburg. So hopefully we can get back on track with that, and we'll cover more of that here shortly. CC, my boy.
Oh, man.
How's it going?
Oh, man. I'm good. I think the question is, how is the team doing?
Well, I think the team is progressing. They're coming along. They're coming together. But we gotta put the win together. That's the main thing is putting the win together. And I think that changes a lot of things when you get a W.
Exactly.
We've been close in some games, but yeah, we're coming together.
Okay.
We'll put it like that.
All right.
We'll put it like that. All right. So good week, most of all, for you guys. That's what I like to hear. All right. That'll take us into our Swac week recap. We kicked it off on last Thursday night, September 23rd. Had a great game. When Ralph and I left the studio, this score was, we thought UAPB had this game wrapped up. Went to one of the eating establishments here in town, and how the tide shift. Final score, Alcorn 39, Arkansas Pine Bluff 38. Ralph? It turned out the way you said it was going to turn out, but,
Yeah, but Arkansas Pine Bluff should not have lost that game. Now, just listening to their head coach, the reason they didn't kick the field goal, I don't know why we keep coming back to why coaches don't kick field goals. But according to him, his field goal kicker was injured.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did hear him say that the field goal kicker was injured, but, I think what do we, not to get off subject, but how many do we have here in Daytona?
Okay.
I think we have like three field goal kickers. You have the new kid who comes from the, and sorry for lack of name, comes from the baseball team. Coach Sims was talking about him earlier tonight on his show, and Harvey McDonald, and then the other young man. Those are critical positions.
Special teams.
Yes, definitely mean a lot. We'll move right along to Saturday, September 25th. Delta State goes to Jackson State. Jackson State wins that game 24 to Delta State 17. Delta State played them a little closer than they thought. What happened?
I'm going to tell you, I wasn't surprised by the score. Delta State really has a pretty good team. And it didn't surprise me. I actually think it really showed us the vulnerability of Jackson State in some areas.
It definitely did show us the vulnerability of Jackson State in quite a few areas there. And
they can't score. I know another school has that same problem.
This Ralph, I tell you.
Why don't you say it, Ralph?
Ralph, I tell you, my man. Next game, Grambling goes to Prairie View. Prairie View comes out on top in that one, 24 to Gramblin's 10.
I don't
What
think
you guys
it's a
thought?
Surprise. Wasn't a surprise to me. How about you?
No, I picked Prairie View to win that game.
Yeah.
I picked them to win by 10.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Then we have Tuskegee goes and plays Alabama A&M. Final score of that game, Tuskegee 35, Alabama A&M 45.
Now remember what I said. You remember what I said about that game last week?
You did.
I said everybody thinks that Alabama A&M going to blow it out. But these are two Alabama schools. These kids are accustomed to playing each other, and that game going to be closer than what people think.
And there you have it. 10 points. 10 points. At home at Alabama A&M.
Yep.
At home. We'll cover this score later, but our Wildcats go into Montgomery, Alabama, and fall to the Hornets 38-24. As I said, we'll cover that a little later. Some bright spots out of that game, not a whole lot, but there's some bright spots, and we'll cover that later. Texas Southern plays Rice. Another game that was a lot closer than we expected. Final score of that game, Rice 48, Texas Southern 34.
Yeah, Texas Southern, really, they're going to shock some people this year. I really feel like that. And if they play the same way they played Ralph this weekend, it's going to be some people in our conference that's going to really get shocked.
Yeah, definitely. There will be some people in our conference who definitely get shocked there in that game.
I had Rice in a blowout.
Really?
I had Rice in a blowout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both did. Very familiar, with the Rice head coach. He and I were together at Florida State. And, I don't know if a lot of people know, but that was the offensive coordinator at Stanford when Stanford was, hanging it on people. Yeah, Mike Bloomgren. Yeah.
I didn't think Texas Southern had a chance in that game.
You didn't?
Morale.
And I guess their morale got picked up a little bit more this week.
Got to do help.
Michael Strahan,
Well, actually, though, come on. He done bought Jackson State all the suits.
Yeah, but
he almost had to come by some helmets.
I don't know if he bought Jackson State those suits. I believe that he designed them, but I don't think it was a full out. I don't think it was a full out purchase for him. Yeah. There you have it for the Swac week recap. So not many. Well, I won't say not many surprises. Who we thought would win won, but the games are a lot closer than we had predicted.
Well, one of those teams we didn't think was going to win, though.
Who's that?
ASU.
We'll comment later on that. We'll comment later on that. What was that old boy for, CC?
Boy, I'm just going to leave it like that.
Oh boy, by CC, huh? Yeah, it was definitely not what we thought it would be. So this coming week, that'll take us to our Pro First Sports Management Swac week schedule rankings. Schedule and rankings. So this past Sunday, there was a football game in the SWAC conference. Southern played Mississippi Valley State. Final score of that game, Mississippi Valley State 25, Southern 38.
I don't think it was a surprise there.
Well.
Anyway.
On which side do you think it was not a surprise?
Well, Valley.
Valley?
Yeah, Valley.
In the points they put up in that contest.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Then we have could they have beat Southern, you think?
No.
We didn't see the game.
No.
Okay, they're not strong enough to do
No, I don't think so.
Tonight's matchup, you have UAPB versus Prairie View. They get another Thursday night game.
Yeah, that's interesting. They would get 2 Thursday night games.
Back to back at that, huh?
Short week.
Back to back. I guess you think that's a
TV.
Well, they didn't win the Swac during the spring, but they were runner-up. So you think that had something to do with it?
Probably. Again, but what athletic director would schedule 2 Thursday night games in a row?
Minute 59 left in the first quarter. That score, Arkansas Pine Bluff 3, Prairie View 14.
Really?
Yes. And it looks like Prairie View just scored on the last play. So, still 14-13. But
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then our Wildcats will, as we said earlier, will go into South Carolina State. 1:30 p.m. matchup. They're in Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. They're in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And we'll cover that later, as Coach Sims alluded to earlier during his show. It's going to be a dog and cat fight. And a bloodbath.
That's
but,
not what I. That's what I
a
heard.
bloodbath is what
Okay,
you heard.
okay,
Right.
okay.
So we'll cover that. Alabama A&M plays Grambling. 3 p.m. kickoff. That game being played in Grambling, Louisiana.
Well, Grambling's coming with a freshman quarterback.
They are.
So I would imagine that A&M will blitz a lot. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Grambling, but they're not doing that well.
They're not doing that well. So who do you take in that contest?
I'm taking you Alabama A&M
Alabama
by
A&M.
14.
By 14, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Grambling, man. Grambling by 3. That field goal kicker, I think he's gonna make the difference.
Grambling by 3.
And them playing in Louisiana. Grambling really plays tough there.
They do. They do play tough there. They do.
You say they're gonna win by 3,
I got Grambling by 3,
and I said 14.
and you said 14. I feel a steak dinner coming on.
I tell you what.
Prime rib.
I tell you what I'll do. If Grambling win by 3, I'll buy you 2 steak dinners.
2 steak dinners.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Where you taking them to steak dinner, man? That's what I want to know.
Where am I taking it?
Yeah.
You're not invited.
I just need to know where you're taking it, man. Don't
Don't worry
fall
about it.
Don't fall for the Thursday night prime rib, man. And don't let him take you to the October 30th little cookout. If he trades steak out for chicken, don't do it. The next matchup, North Carolina Central versus Mississippi Valley State. That game, 4 p.m. kickoff in Itabena, Mississippi. So the Eagles go into Mississippi Valley.
I think
That's a toss-up.
I was just gonna say, I think Valley may get their first win this week. I really do.
It's just exactly like you said, CC. May. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. Central is going to win that game.
Okay.
Central wins that game. So Mr. Ralph says. All right. Alabama State Hornets go into Bragg Stadium. 6 p.m. kickoff on Saturday night.
Well, if you listen to my daughter, who's up there on that hill, Morgan Cruz, it would be FAMU all the way. However, her dad thinks a tad differently. I really like Alabama State by 10.
Did you hear? So, Cece was like Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
I'm just surprised.
And Cece?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
You shocked. You're my boy, Blue. Why your prediction, Cece?
Number one, Alabama State does have a defensive line. There's no question about it.
Okay.
You're not going to get around big 340 at all. That's just not going to happen. FAMU would try to run the ball on you. When they can't do that, they hadn't quite solidified a number one quarterback. And I just don't see them winning at home. I know my friend Ralph is going to say something a little different, and I get it. But I think Alabama State may shock the Rattlers.
Okay. Now, let's go back on the steak dinners. Alabama State is coming into Tallahassee with the big head.
Oh yeah.
And when they leave, they're going to realize they aren't nearly as good as they think they are.
Right.
A&M by 10.
Ooh.
Is that because that game's at home for FAMU?
FAMU is not going to let Alabama State come into Tallahassee and beat them. Not this century. A&M by 10.
And are you saying that because FAMU had the week off?
Yes, but I'm also saying that because I don't think that the Alabama State can go into Tallahassee with the offense they played last week and come out with a win.
Ralph, my daughter just said on here, "Good job, Ralph. Go Rattlers." So,
by the way, you might want to tell her my daughter's a Rattler too, but her daddy is a Wildcat.
And her daddy is a Wildcat.
Yeah.
So
what you saying, Darryl? What you call it?
you got to go one way or the other.
No, I don't. I just show up for steak dinner.
Don't worry, CC will be buying. We eat on CC.
There you have it for the Swac week schedule. That takes us right into our rankings for this week. And oh my. Coming in, Alabama comes in at 2-0 in record play. Jackson State comes in at 1-0. 1-0 in conference play and 2-1 in schedule play. They lost to Louisiana Monroe. Then Alabama State comes in. They are 1-0 in the conference, and they are 2-1 in schedule play. I just kind of jumped off a little bit. So our Wildcats come in 0-4 in schedule play
0-4.
and 0-2 in conference play. How do you guys feel about that?
How we feel about the 0-2 in conference play?
Yeah, and then the number that follows that.
The 4.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this now. We're going to talk about this later.
You can give me a little preamble to it.
Well, I think that we should be 3-1. I think we should be 3-1. But I think that we got away from what we do best.
And what's that?
We changed our identity. For the last 12 years, we've been a run-first team, and now we are a pass-only team. Oh, we run the ball occasionally.
But not enough to
But our heart's
like
not in it. Our heart's in, let's go for the big scrap. And I don't know, we just changed our personality.
Let me ask you a quick question, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Do you think that's because of the new offensive coordinator that came in?
I think that's part of it, but I also think because we got a lot of new players.
Okay.
I mean, what people don't understand about this Wildcat team, most of these kids didn't play in 2019. So we got a different configuration, and we're doing something different, and it's not so. Thus far, it hasn't been successful for us.
Okay. We can carry that on.
Yeah, we will. Oh, don't worry. Let's go to the west side of things. West side. Prairie View comes in at 2-0 in conference play, 3-1 in schedule play. Alcorn State 1-0, 2-2 in conference. In record play. Southern comes in 1-0 in conference play, 2-2 in record. UAPB comes in 0-1 in conference play, 1-2 on schedule. Grambling State 0-1 conference, 1-3 in schedule, and Texas Southern 0-1, 0-3 on the season. There you have it for our SWAC football standings. We'll go to our computer rankings, our computer power rankings. Coming in at number 28 in FCS football in the SWAC, you have Alabama A&M. They were previously 21, so they fell down a little bit. I'm sure with the close score with Tuskegee kind of
Division II school.
Yeah, did them in somewhat. Then you have Jackson State coming in at 31. They were previously 31, so they didn't move. Alabama State coming in at 39. They were previously 22 coming in. Prairie View comes in at 46. They were previously 26. You had Prairie View, like I said, they're 46 coming in at 26. Alcorn State coming in at 65. They were previously 79. Sorry. Florida A&M coming in at 74. They were previously 80, so they moved up during the off week. Southern University comes in at 86. They were previously 75. Arkansas Pine Bluff coming in at 100. They were previously 84. Our Bethune-Cookman Wildcats step back into the 101 mark. We were previously 92. Grambling State was 105. They were previously 96. Texas Southern moved up to 114. They were previously 126. And Mississippi Valley State at 127. They were previously 128. I think they jumped Wagner for the closest. Any surprises there, guys?
Nope.
No, not really.
Not really. Well, guys, now comes the hard part. Wildcats go into Alabama State, 5 p.m. kickoff, Central Standard Time. 5 p.m. kickoff at Alabama State. And where did the game change for you? Was it early, Ralph?
It was early.
So they marched down and score first, of course. 12 plays, 65 yards down the field. Score with a 12-yard touchdown pass from Wallace Corker catches a pass from Ryan Nettles. Ryan Nettles finished the night with decent stats. Game goes 7-0. Bad guys. Muff punt by ASU. We come in the game, have to punt it back to them. They muff a punt. We get the ball back. Could have possibly went up 14-0 on us. Muff the punt. We go on a 4-yard plunge by Jimmy Robinson III for a touchdown. Tied the score at 7-7. Coming into the stadium, we're thinking, hey, we're okay. We're here to play some Wildcat football. Take it from there, Raph.
Well, see, we all went in that game pretty good about ourselves, even though we had just lost to Alabama A&M by 3 points. But we kind of thought coming out of Alabama A&M that we got it all together.
We
now.
know what we got.
We know what we got. So let's go down here and take this first victory and let's go ahead and make this a good season for ourselves. But again, it looks like teams already know what we're going to do before we do it, and we really don't disappoint them. We do exactly what they think we're going to do. We do it.
Why do you think that is, Ralph? I mean, I know what you mean by it. I know CC knows what you mean, and a couple other people, but
because if you look at all our games, well, let's say the last two, we come out with the same sequences of plays. We come out with the same exact formation, and we run this almost identical plays. We don't mix it up. We don't try to establish the run. We come out gunning. And over the last 12 years, Bethune has not been a gunning team. Bethune been a team is win in the trenches. And then pass to keep them honest. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. And CC, I think you would agree with this. For the last 12 years, we've been an RPO team. Run, pass, option.
Right.
Okay, so now we turned the switch, and we are a straight up passing team with a quarterback that don't run.
Correct.
So everybody that plays us know that they can blitz because our quarterback is not going to run the ball. And Alabama State blitzed us just about every play. And that's the first school that actually was getting to the quarterback. What you think?
With that said, Ralph, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball.
how many sides are there, guys?
Well, I mean, the
All right, go ahead, CC.
the defense that we're in, Ralph, the bend but don't break defense, we got to do better. We got to do better.
Marcus Aldridge said you're 100% right, Ralph. Just so you know.
Thanks.
Yeah. We got to do better. We either we can come out and we can just say, you know what, we're gonna play man to man. We're not gonna stand off 10 or 15 anymore. We're just gonna play man to man. I'd rather take that. If we get beat, Ralph, we get beat. But let's challenge these wide receivers. Everybody in the Swac and everywhere else knows that we're gonna play off for the first half. Okay, then after the second half, then that's when we want to get it together. By that time, we're down 21 points, and it's not working. We're going to have to do something different when it comes to our defense.
Yeah, because the bend but don't break theory worked when you had a very good defensive line and you were putting pressure on the quarterback. But when you got absolutely no pressure on the quarterback, and you got the offense running 10-yard slants, that's open all day.
I agree.
I mean, and I didn't personally think that the Alabama quarterback was that great. But how can you not, if you're at the college level, how can you not hit a 10-yard slant when the defensive guy playing 12 yards off?
Oh, I agree.
So let me ask you this thing right here. Did you change because you went to the SWAC conference?
No, I think what we did is we're using the personnel that we have. You know, we really don't have the RPO quarterback. So what we're doing, we're running an offense, not because that's what we want to run, but that's the personnel that we have.
But you do have at least 2 RPO quarterbacks in your stable.
But with no experience though. They would be literally freshmen, with the exception of Devin Black, because he's been in the program 4 years.
Hey, God, but now I just want to say
Ralph had to stick that sword in the sand.
He really did. But you know, I still have to say, remember, the offensive coordinator just got here, 28 days before season started, maybe 30 days before season started. How much of this is his offense? He hadn't had much time to really put something together. Now, in my mind, he really haven't. So,
Okay, but CC, we're 4 games in. Okay? Now, this is Division One.
You're right. You're right.
We're 4 games in, and
Right.
I'm not going to say any more to that subject.
You're right.
I mean, okay, so he came here late. We're 4 games in.
You're right. You're right.
So what are you saying? It's going to take him a season?
What I'm saying is,
We're 4 games in.
I'm trying to make him look good, but anyway,
I'm just saying.
well, I mean, hopefully he'll get it together. You know, this week. You know, we're 4 games in, and they play South Carolina State, and I don't know about what you guys seen out at practice. Did you see anything different that got you excited, Darryl?
In this past game or practice?
Practices this week.
No.
No.
The thing is, you know, it's practice.
Okay.
I did see more intensity. I saw more focus with our coaching staff. But as I said previously, and I continue to say, I don't think you're going to see it this week. I think it'll be a next week thing. And granted, next week is homecoming, but it just doesn't, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, again, like I said to CC, we're 4 games in, and we keep saying wait the next week.
No, I'm not saying that.
We said that. Wait the next week, you're going to see a different team. Oh, yeah, you just wait till we get to next week.
Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not
Oh,
saying
okay.
that.
All right.
However,
Go ahead, CC.
enough said.
So CC and some other people can tell you. Nobody wanted to listen to old Williams. And I'm
Okay.
hey, if you take if you take the engine out of one car, skip a year of not using that car, and put it back in that car, it's still the same engine, right?
Yep.
But usually when you get the oil change and get a tune-up, it functions better.
Where was the tune-up?
We didn't have it.
So what's going to happen next week? We get the new engine?
No.
Oh.
You put a cam kit in there and soup it up a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you got to do a lot of tweaks.
But look, okay, CC, Darryl, I'm willing to bet you if you talk to 100 Wildcat fans, when we left that Alabama A&M game, I would say 100% thought, okay, we're together now. Let's go forward. I think we got it. Let's go for it. Would you agree or disagree?
No, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah. But, we see some things that others don't see, and it
That's true.
We go in places hoping for a different outcome, but we see what the outcome is going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And hopefully we still can after the show, but
yeah, but would you agree though Tuesday was probably the most intense practice we've seen thus far though?
I got to mix in Wednesday a little bit. And the reason I say mix in Wednesday, because I saw some guys pushing other guys. And I saw some stuff after practice that's like, okay. And just like Coach Sims said earlier, he thinks they're starting to get it and start to pick up things. Just like he said earlier, our offensive line is solid, but we got to be more than solid. We got to dominate.
I agree.
You know, in all facets of the game. And you can't play their game. We got to play our game. And stick with it. You can't get frazzled when your game doesn't work. Hey, it's just like this. That game was 21-17 at one point on Saturday.
Agree.
You score a touchdown and your defense plays, you win the game. You don't continue to let them score. Final score in that game, 38-24. So what that means is we let them score a couple more times and we only scored one more time. You can't win like that. And that's from coaches to players.
So, go ahead, Sid.
How long should it take a defensive coordinator to recognize what the other team is doing?
I have a two-part answer to that. And my two-part answer to that is you come in the game with your game plan, correct?
Right.
But you also got to know that that offensive coordinator on the other sideline is there to get a check just like you, right?
Correct.
So he's going to do everything it takes to make sure he gets that check. And, he doesn't get that final check to say, hey, thanks, man, we're going to move in a different direction. You got to come in with, okay, scenarios, situations. Okay, if they throw this at me, I got a counter punch with this. He got me up under the chin this time, but I'm coming back to knock him out. Now, we saw that against Alabama A&M to where you held them to 3, but with that, and I hate to go back to Alabama A&M, but with that, Alabama A&M played into your hands. They changed what they were doing.
So would you agree that we're taking a whole first half before we figure out what the other team is doing?
I'm not saying that we're figuring it out all the way.
Okay. What would you say, Ralph?
I was just thinking, we talked about this Saturday night on the bus ride home. I think one of the things that happened to us, we come in there with this mindset, we know this is going to work.
Okay.
And then when it start not working, we're kind of a little stubborn and not want to change up because, hey, we know that they're going to do this, and that, and then when they aren't doing this, because you got to remember, this team had a week to prepare for us. So they pretty much knew our tendencies, especially on defense. They knew that crossing route was going to be open all day long, and they just that's what they went for.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break. You're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. what I took away from it was physicality of Alabama State.
Yes. But see, up to that point, I thought our offensive line was pretty physical too, though. But for some reason, they got to our quarterback, and our quarterback no one had touched him. And the other thing that I did see, though, that I was surprised, man, we had so many drop passes. It was almost as if that we didn't want to catch the ball. I mean, I think one kid must have dropped 5. And then this thing, us catching the ball and then fumbling it away, that's gotta go. But we dropped a lot of passes.
We did.
And you mentioned this. Whenever we went in motion, they always blitzed from the side that we left. They always sent the blitz in. So that tells me somebody's been really watching our game films.
But that's
okay, Ralph.
They blitzed every time.
But Ralph, so I guess we all laugh because you said somebody's been watching our game film. What have we been doing?
Apparently, we haven't been watching theirs. I mean, Bethune-Cookman is a much better team than what we saw in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yes.
Okay? No doubt about it.
No question.
We're a much better team.
Yeah.
Right.
But we just didn't show it on the field. We seem to have everything we need, but in that game, we seen that we was missing everything. That we were missing assignments, that we didn't know what play to call, or it's almost as if Alabama State confused us and they wasn't really doing that much. They were just playing basic football.
Pitch and catch.
Pitch and catch. Read what the offense is doing and react.
Yeah.
But again, CC got the answer.
I really don't. I really don't. I don't know. I after watching that game, man, and really going back and looking at that game over again, Alabama State was not the better team. They were the better team Saturday night, but they just were not the better team. And I don't want to call out the numbers of players, the player numbers or whatnot, but some of these kids are just dropping balls, man, that the Pee Wee League, they would catch some of these passes, man. I mean, so I just think we need to just tighten up, in all phases of the game, and we really hadn't said much about quarterback play, have we?
No, we haven't said much about quarterback play, but we'll get to that. Like I said, final score of that game, 38-24. That'll take us into our grading period. Let's go over the stats for that game. Total yards, Bethune-Cookman 259 yards on the night. ASU 378. Passing yards, Bethune-Cookman 247. ASU 267.
Stop. Rushing yards, how many?
Let me read it first, Ralph.
12.
Bethune-Cookman 12 rushing yards, ASU 111. Penalty yards, Bethune-Cookman penalized 3 times for 30 yards. ASU 6 times for 58 yards.
That stop right there for me. That's a new low for probably the last 10 years. When have you ever known a Bethune-Cookman team to just be penalized for 30 yards in a whole game?
Usually, we have 14 and we win.
That's right.
Bethune-Cookman in 16 first downs, ASU 21. Third down conversions, and this is where
Stop.
it goes.
Another stop.
Another stop.
He don't want me to hammer time.
2 of 12.
And across the field, 10 of 18.
That won't win ball games, gentlemen.
Not 2 of 12 on third downs.
No, I won't do it.
Fourth downs.
1 and 2.
Bethune-Cookman 1 and 2. ASU 1 of 1.
Look at the time of possession.
Time of possession for our Wildcats, 23 minutes, 47 seconds. ASU, 36 minutes, 13 seconds. You guys got quiet on me. Let's go to the position breakdowns, guys. Let's go grade it out, guys. Here you go.
My favorite time. Let's do it.
Pass, fail, push, all right? Quarterback play.
Ralph.
Fail.
Why fail, Ralph?
Well, the quarterback tends to make up his mind when the ball is hacked at who he's going to throw it to, and he locks into that guy. And come hell or high water, that's where it's going.
Do you think that's on purpose, or is that how we're calling the plays? Because, Ralph,
Well, if it's on purpose, why put the other 3 receivers out there if you're not going to throw it to him anyway?
distractions.
Not when
What
you,
was that? The 18 movie where they're moving everything around.
Not when you lock it in on the guy though. You lock it in on your receiver.
In all honesty, we've done that for years.
Well,
Ralph, do you see that in practice? So fail for Ralph.
And I'm gonna have to agree with Ralph. 100%. It's a fail for me as well. We got to do better at that quarterback position. You know, if the starting quarterback is not the answer, I think we got 2 more quarterbacks that we need to give them a shot at it as well. But I'm with Ralph. Fail.
Running backs.
well, I mean, if you only got 12 yards, you can't give him a pass. But I don't think all of that is hit on him though.
I agree.
I don't think it's all on him because I think he's probably one of the best running backs in the league.
I agree with that too.
But it all boils down to
Play
the position that you put him in. I mean,
Yeah.
So let's grade it, Ralph. What you got?
He gotta fail because
So you got to fail.
I'm not saying
it's
fail.
a
No,
push. Let's go
it's
with
a
push because we
Yeah.
know other factors have to
Yeah.
factor in. For that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because in my eyes, I can't say fail. You know.
No, I can't either,
You
but-
know, Bird wants the ball.
Exactly.
He definitely wants the ball. So I can't say. But for me, you know, if I had to grade it, I'm gonna say a D.
But let me ask you this, CC. Do you agree that he's a good running back?
Probably one of the in the top 2 in the league. For
Okay,
sure.
then we got to figure out another way to get him the ball.
I agree with that.
But even when you're getting him the ball, you know, it's got to be there.
Yeah.
It's got to. I mean,
check downs.
but you can't. Check downs don't get you the yardage and the rushing stats.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree.
And you gotta do what? To do what? Gotta run the ball to open up for the pass.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, if we look at our stats, we're doing it in reverse.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the wide receiver play. Wide receiver / tight end.
No. See, I can't do it that way.
Not this week.
I think the tight end is by himself. Okay, so the way I look at it, wide receivers fail. Tight end pass.
And the fail is because the wide receivers are not catching the ball.
They're not catching the ball. And the only reason they're on the field is to catch the football. They're not catching it.
I'm sure a lot of people don't wouldn't think that I agree with Ralph. We're like 3 for
I kinda-
3.
I'm right all the time.
But
What
I
are you talking about?
I got to go with Ralph. You cannot put the tight end and the wide receiver together right now. And I'm going to say the tight end, I'm going to give him a strong B. However, this wide receiver group right now failed.
So, Marcus Ulrich saying the running backs aren't getting enough touches.
Marcus sounds about right as well.
But if you're running, this is the thing, and I'm not taking up anybody. If the running game isn't doing anything, and the passing game is the only thing that's keeping you in the game because
Because you're passing it 70% of the time, for God's sakes.
because you have to.
Yeah, but did the running game work against Alabama A&M? Did the running game work against Central Florida? Did the running game work against El Paso? So how all of a sudden we short in the running game against Alabama State?
Because people have figured it out.
Okay, so what's your second option then? Okay, I'm running those plays. They figured us out. So okay, that's okay. I got something else I'm gonna throw at them.
What's that? Throwing the ball?
No, you gotta find another way to get the running back the ball.
But I don't think it's getting the running back the ball. When you get it to him, he has nowhere to go.
All right. So
Again, and I've said it, I won't go into much detail, but I'll go back to that check instance. I got to earn a check, you got to earn a check.
yeah.
So if I'm scheming you better than you're scheming me, I'm earning mine.
I agree with you.
What are you doing with yours?
It's a scheme. Yeah.
Okay, well, and with that said,
And CC did agree with me though.
I did. I did. I actually did. I meant,
CC want to get that steak dinner off of him.
I'm agreeing with Ralph tonight, man. Let's see if this continues.
Okay, next we got the offensive line.
Okay, so
Push.
I don't. Yeah, it's a push because I don't think they played as well as they played the previous 3 games.
Is it the scheme? Are you being schemed to where? Well, I'll go back to a comment that you made earlier. You said it seems that people are watching film on us, but it's not going well, vice versa.
Right. Okay.
I actually, on the other hand, I think the offensive line is playing solid. I really do. But with that, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the play calling is what I think we need to brush up on. That offensive line is really holding up, man. They've been doing good this year. Matter of fact, they have been more solid this year than they have in the last few years.
As Coach Sims says earlier, the offensive line, right now, we're playing pretty solid football, but we have to dominate. And what we mean by dominate, just bring the syrup, because we're pancaking out there, right? We're holding up at the point of attack. But you also, with that push, they got to factor into that 12 yards. Because, when the running back hit the hole, if there's no hole there, he's not going to be able to get outside every time.
Okay, the one stat that I would like to know though, how many running plays did we have?
Well, I'll research that and I'll get it to you.
Because I think if you look at how many versus how many pass plays we had.
We'll find that information out. All right, we'll move along to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive line.
Fail.
111 yards.
How much they got passing?
267. Not enough pressure. On a I don't want to on an okay quarterback.
Yeah, don't ever say he was that great quarterback. He was okay.
It's just
Because I mean, I could take a high school kid if you're gonna give me that much time to pass, and he could complete those passes.
he
I
picked,
mean,
picked us apart.
he picked us apart because he could have had lunch back there. He had all the time he wanted.
Once again, I have to agree with Ralph. That D line, man.
I want to see how much money is going under that table over there.
That D line, man. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna ride out with the elf with Ralph as well, man. I mean, we're not getting no kind of push, none whatsoever.
I mean, the defensive linemen are not trying to disengage. They're not trying to get away.
No.
They're just standing up there,
Right.
and they're not trying to disengage. And look, audience, I'm not an expert at this. I'm just looking at the game.
Right.
I'm just telling you what I see. I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I do see what I see.
20 rushing attempts for 12 yards. Average per yard rush was 0.6. 44 passing attempts, 21 completed, 1 interception. 5.6 yards per pass. All right, we'll move to the linebackers. Linebacker play.
Linebackers aren't as good as defensive line.
So you give a fail or a push?
I don't want to give him a fail because number 19.
Number 19, yes sir. Yes sir. Yeah. Definitely
I can't give the group a fail. And number 12, I think he had several tackles as well. So I think that they're
Tequila Thomas, number 19.
I think they're playing better than expected with the defensive line you have.
Right.
Once again, I agree with Ralph.
Pass?
Definitely pass.
See?
But Mr. Thomas is playing some good football.
Yeah.
He's playing good football.
He really is. And I'm afraid if we didn't have him back there, I don't know what would happen. He's definitely playing some good football. So I'm going to say, because of Mr. Thomas, a C.
I go with that. Yeah.
All right. So pass, but low pass. All right. Defensive backfield.
Okay, so I'm
Number
going to give
20.
them a fail, but I'm going to give number 20 a pass.
Amari Hill Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know names. I just know numbers. I ain't called it anybody.
I thought you were really good friends with the announcer at Alabama State. That's an inside joke, folks.
That was the first time I actually got a migraine headache with the announcer.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Ralph. I thought we could ride it out. I'm actually going to give these DBs a D. And this is not to them totally. The defensive coordinator has to put them in the right positions to make plays.
And make adjustments.
And that's not happening, guys. That's not happening.
Question was asked by Mr. Jackson, does our team practice a 2-minute drill?
For the most part, they do.
We do, but we do and we don't. And I'll just leave it right there. We do and we don't. It's not a traditional one. And we supposedly even practice a 4-minute drill.
Right.
But it's not a traditional one that,
So the 4-minute drill would have came in real good against...
The 2-minute drill would have came in great against...
I agree. I agree. But just the benefit of the doubt, because since you
had
said
2 more minutes
it was about 4 minutes on that clock when they were playing Alabama A&M.
4:35 actually.
4:35.
Wow.
So you said that, we work on that 4-minute drill, correct?
I mean, you heard it like I heard it.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Special teams play, guys.
Pass.
CC?
Ralph, I like grades, man. Give me a grade, Ralph.
Okay, I'll give him a B.
Okay. Once again, I'm riding out with
Think
Ralph.
about it though. And the reason this is the first game, I think, that we didn't on the kickoff we didn't kick it out of bounds.
You're exactly right. And I was just going to say, we did have that new kicker come in, and I think he may have kicked it out of bounds one time, if I can remember.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He did?
But yeah. But other than that,
Early on, we were in there.
yeah. But other than that, he was solid. So I would have to say a B as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to add one thing to it.
Okay.
Overall team play.
Ralph.
Why Ralph all the time has to go first?
Ralph.
Overall team play, guys.
C minus.
Ooh, man. I really want to just say pass, but I'm going against what I.
You said you like grades.
You're right. You're right. I really.
You see how he switched that up?
Talking, boy.
You see how he switched that up though?
Yeah.
Oh, I like grades.
Yeah,
I would just.
But you know what? I mean, it is what it is, and we have to call it like we see it. I got a D for that.
I would agree.
You got a D as well.
I got a D.
So by C minus, okay, I'm in there then.
Yeah, you're within the ballpark.
Yeah.
You're within the ballpark. Unfortunately, I saw a D all week, last week, and I think you did too.
Yeah.
And whatever the factor is,
But let me ask you a question though. You too, CC. But don't you agree that this team is a lot better than what they're showing though?
Why? Because they haven't played in 600 days?
Nope. I don't. I told you I don't like moral victories. I think this team is better than what they've shown thus far.
I totally agree with him on that. I think they are. And I can preach this until the cows. Hold up one second, Daryl. I can preach this until the cows come home. If you put these kids in the right position, I think you'll see something totally different than what you're seeing now.
But the fact of the matter is, you went into UTEP and you played them hard. But then you come in the conference play. As we've said, the other teams, take UCF off the board. We already know that. But the other teams have played in the same environment that you've played in.
You can't totally just put that on the kids. You can't.
He said team.
And team consists of?
The players and coaches.
Okay. So, with that being said, Ralph, when you look at the team.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
The coaches go out there and drop footballs?
No, the coaches don't drop footballs. No.
Cover the receiver?
Agree with you 100%. I agree.
Block?
I agree. However, both parties
have to do their job, right?
Exactly.
Are they?
Exactly. Both parties are not doing their job.
So I'm not,
But what I'm saying is these kids, they have to, regardless, they have to be put in the right position, whether they're on offense or defense, special plays or whatever. They have to be put in the right position. Now, I do understand, and I'm not a football coach, so I don't go out every day, scheming plays and whatnot.
Right,
but
right.
I do understand what I see. I'm like Ralph with that. But at the end of the day, no, the coaches don't catch the ball. No, the coaches don't block. No, the coaches don't throw the ball. I understand it. But I do understand that these kids have to be put in the right position to make plays. And that's all I'm saying.
But I also see it, and I totally get what you're saying about, not scheming up plays and everything. But there's a lot of times that they are in position to make plays and we're not making the plays. And yes, as a team, because we lose as a team, we win as a team, right?
Right.
So it's mistakes being made from
both
the
parts.
booth on down.
Right, exactly. On both parts.
You know,
I agree.
And I can't give you, so saying they're better than expected to me is a moral victory. If you're better than expected, go show me that from 60 minutes of football, because those other teams are coming out thinking, just like, I know we win in that game thinking, okay, we're going to beat Alabama State, right?
Of course we did. That's what we.
So, you know what I'm saying? They didn't do it. And we have to. We'll cover that. Our Wildcats go into South Carolina State, into Orangeburg, South Carolina, 1:30 p.m. kickoff Eastern Standard Time in Orangeburg on this Saturday. We know the Bulldogs are always a tough, formidable foe. Last time, come in to Daytona Beach and knock us off for homecoming. A couple of our players remember that loss. What happened Saturday? Both teams are 0-for, right? We listened to Coach Sim's show a little earlier. Both teams are 0-for coming into that game. What needs to be done for us to win that game? How do you offset a South Carolina State team whose record does not indicate, from what we've seen, their play?
Well, I tell you what, Ralph, we better know how to pick up that blitz. That's number one. Because if we haven't figured out how to pick up that blitz between now and tomorrow, it's going to be a long game. Buddy will blitz until the cows come home. I mean, he is relentless on it. And that's what kind of got me a little shaky, because he comes at you all.
We don't want to see that blitz. Like, the one play that we saw, the kid got kicked out for targeting Saturday, but
He came clean.
whew,
Yeah.
Nobody touched him.
and that lick was almost right in front of us, but it didn't matter where you were sitting in that stadium.
Right.
Man, we were like, Shannon going back in the game, because, I mean, it was
But you called that play, though.
just,
You called that play. You said as soon as 87 went in motion,
They're
you
gonna
said
bring it.
they're gonna blitz in the spot he just left.
Wow.
And that's exactly
you
what
don't do anything with 87. Or you don't do anything with the guy in motion. For lack of a better word, he's a decoy. So you stay at home, you tell the guy where he's motioning to, you got him, okay, I'm going. And when he went, he came.
Yeah.
He came in as
He did.
So
And
He was clean.
launched-
He was
launched
full
too.
sprint.
He did. And you can see him leaving off the ground. He launched into him.
what do we got to do this Saturday, guys?
Well, we got to execute in all phases of the game.
Quick pass, RPOs.
We got to run the ball. You got to use the run to keep them off balance.
We have to run the ball successfully.
Exactly. If Buddy want to blitz, let's make him pay for it every time he blitz. Wherever they blitzing from, let the running back just be standing over and just pitch it to him. You got to make
Screens.
Screen. I would screen them to death. Do we have a screen play?
That's a nice game plan, what you just came up with, Ralph. And I
He's agreeing with
might
me
even
again.
follow that. No, really. Ralph came up with a great game plan just sitting here, on this radio show. But I'm gonna tell you something now. I know we need to run the ball. I get it. South Carolina State's gonna be tough on that defensive line.
Oh, absolutely.
They're gonna definitely be tough. So do we steady try to pound up the middle, or do we take it outside a little bit?
They've always been stingy on the inside. I mean, I think you can have zone plays that'll get you the yardage to go, but you got to dink and dunk and keep it off balance. You can't come in there and be For lack of a better word, you can't play ritual football. Like, okay, we're going to hand it off right here, and it got stuffed. So now I'm going to try it to the other side, or I might run it the same way again. And then now, when I get in trouble, here comes my big 6'7" tight end who's going to streak down the middle of the field.
Shh, don't tell the play.
You don't have to. When he's in the game, you know where it's going. Now you just got to match up. You got to match up. Miss Emma Price says we have to play 60 minutes of football.
I agree, Miss Price.
60 minutes of football, start fast, and definitely finish.
I agree, Miss Price. I agree.
I'm gonna add something to it. We have to start fast, and we have to maintain to be able to finish. You have to maintain.
I at practice I saw the wide receiver coach showing a guy how
Coach Lucas, yeah,
showing him how he got to run his pattern, and you got to run it just like you said. You got to run it.
You do. And I will say that's what we have seen more of that in practice, to where there has been more hands-on coaching.
Yeah.
Even from unlikely coaches.
Exactly. I mean,
and Ralph knows where I'm going with that.
But I'm not going to go with you. I'm not going with you.
All right, I got you, Ralph. I got you.
I mean, we're always talking about second level. One of the things that we used to do very well at Bethune-Cookman, our wide receivers was always good blockers.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And if you look at that Alabama game, our wide receiver was missing blocks left and right, and they always been good blockers. And basically, what I'm saying, everybody got to get into it. If it's CC catching the ball, then I got to do everything to make sure CC get more yardage than expected.
Right.
We gotta start gelling together, and that's one of the things that I don't think that we did Saturday. I thought up to that point we did good, but Saturday I just looked like we was out of funk. It didn't seem like we were there. It's like we just showed up.
But Ralph, what did you see last week?
Practice. Yeah.
Were we there last week?
Yeah. But this week practice was, I think, different than last week.
Oh, yeah. It finally, I know we're in the Swac, but it seemed like we wanted to play MEAC football this week.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And, we just, but optimistically though, we still got a way to go 7-4.
Yeah.
We can still go 7-4. And winning out really is not that difficult. What do you think? I'm thinking we can still do 7-4.
I would love for us to do
We have to do our jobs.
Yeah.
We can't let games get away from us.
No.
It's hard to come from behind.
Right.
With young guys.
And every game we coming from behind.
That's it.
It's hard to fight back.
We let teams take the kickoff and march right down the field and score on us. Now we got to score back on them, and usually we get a 4 and out, a 3 and out, and they go march again. And now we 14 points behind, and now we're going to go out of character because now we're playing catch-up football. We got to come out like you guys said. Miss Emma Price, I heard what you said, kiddo. We got to come out fast.
I agree.
Miss Bonnie said pray.
Okay, Miss Bonnie.
We'll do that too, Miss Bonnie.
Bonnie said pray, okay.
We'd like you to join us on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Call in 386-868-0635. That's 386-868-0635. We're talking Wildcat football. Our team goes into Orangeburg, South Carolina against a formidable foe in the South Carolina State Bulldogs and Buddy Pugh's team. Join us 386-868-0635. I think hopefully the technician got it right this week. We were struggling a little bit last week. Seems like in all facets of anything Wildcats. So 386-868-0635. We'd like you to join us here on the show. Let's talk a little Wildcat football. Let's talk about what you'd like to see. And we're dealing with South Carolina State. We know homecoming is next weekend. Homecoming will take care of itself. South Carolina State, 1:30 p.m., Orangeburg, South Carolina. Ralph? Is this going to be a defensive game?
No. I'm willing to bet you it's going to be at least 70 points scored in this game.
Ooh, Lord. And what he means by 70 points, 70 combined points. He's not saying that it's going to go one way 70 points. If we do.
No, it's going to be combined 70 points scored in this game.
Okay.
You agree, CC?
I don't think it's going to be
on the over-under.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to get a steak dinner out of this, but I mean, I gotta agree with Ralph. I mean, you're probably gonna it's gonna be a high-scoring game, man. It really, really is. But
all of us might be eating beanies weenies.
But I do think somebody's defense gonna step up. I mean, because you're talking about two teams that have not won a game yet, and I guess it just depends on who got the most fight in them. Or as Coach Sims say, it's going to be a bloodbath, so.
But, see, this is the other thing, too. People say, well, yeah, South Carolina State is 0-3, but it's a different kind of 0-3.
My man.
0-3, that means you ain't won in three tries.
Right.
Let's say lost to Alabama A&M by 1 in Alabama A&M. Some turnovers, which will doom you in games. Then who do they come face next? The Clemson Tigers. Okay.
We'll say Central Florida. We'll throw that one.
Yeah, right. It's a wash.
That's a wash.
Travel out to New Mexico State. 2-hour time difference from where you're from. Take them down to the end of the game. Final score 43-35. That's an 8-point win by New Mexico State. Somebody who, granted, UTEP blew out. We hung tough with UTEP.
So it sounds like to me you headed down that moral victory play.
No. Different 0-3. It's a different.
No. See, my point when I say 0-3 is 0-3, they're not getting it all together either, because they could have beat Alabama A&M if they don't fumble the ball away. They could have beat New Mexico State because New Mexico State is not that good of a football team.
But, and this is not moral victory, did you expect them to beat Alabama State? I'm sorry, Alabama A&M.
Of course I did.
Why?
Because I knew they were going to go in there and play MEAC football.
They didn't play it in the spring.
But that's okay. That was a spring. I don't even count the spring. I mean,
you have to though. Me and him talked about it.
Yeah.
If Bethune-Cookman University plays in the spring, we're having a different conversation since 8 o'clock tonight.
How you figure? How you figure?
The rust. Okay, we can say now we played 4 games, right?
Yeah.
So, are you telling me the rust would be off of you?
No, what I'm saying, those kids who would have played in the spring, they still would have graduated and wouldn't have been here.
No, because of COVID rules.
Right.
They would be here.
Yeah, but those kids could have still stayed, though. Those kids just got graduated and left.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
If they could have stayed, why did they leave?
Because they wanted to go start making money. And if I was their parent, that's what I would have suggested they do.
What if
well.
they had? Let me ask you this: what if they had money then?
Well, we know that ain't true.
No. That's not so true. What if they had? What if they had money? Was there a reason they possibly could have?
So you're doing that coulda, shoulda, woulda.
No. I'm saying what Did they know something that we are currently seeing?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, that's
Possibly. But
don't
again,
hang your heads.
but let's get back to the 0-3 team and the 0-4 team. I'm saying there's 4 teams that haven't lived up, 2 teams who haven't lived up to their expectations. That's what you got. So when we go to Orangeburg, we got 2 teams out there that have not lived up to expectations.
Who's going to live up to the expectation?
I'm hoping the Wildcats do. That's what I'm expecting anyway.
And what if they don't? Then what's your conversation?
Well, I don't have to think about it. It depends how we lose.
What would be a score for you, Ralph, that you would like to see?
What do you mean, a score?
What would be the final score of this game?
Are we winning or are we losing?
You tell me.
We winning? I think we win by 3. I think the kicker.
3 touchdowns?
No, 3 points.
Oh, okay.
I think the kicker, the guy that we celebrate in practice, is going to kick the winning field goal.
Okay.
The score is going to be 13-10. I'm getting off that 70 points now because I finally realized we got an 0-3 team and an 0-4 team. My expectations way too high. So I'm changing.
I tell you what, and it's an obvious answer. Who wins this game is the team that finally puts it all together on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I truly feel whoever puts it all together on Saturday will change the outcome of their season going forward.
I agree.
Because they finally start playing as a team.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you another question. When you left El Paso, Texas, what was in your mind about Bethune-Cookman University football team? What were you thinking?
Hope that
That wasn't what I was thinking.
Me either.
But okay.
no.
We'll let you go with that hope because that wasn't what we were thinking.
Yeah, you go with your
No,
hope.
I say hope. I say hope, but there were some things that we needed to work on. Because now, and this has nothing to do with moral, it has to do with those guys showed up after not playing for a long period of time and played a decent football game. I can live with how they played. Now let's go back to work and perfect off of what we did in that game to where we don't leave no L's on the field. UCF, yeah.
See, when I left El Paso,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking we let one get away.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying even with letting one get away, we let it get away, but let's not let any more get away other than, and I hate to say other than, UCF.
See, when I was at El Paso, at the same time I was at Northeast Louisiana.
Right. It puts you in that same sense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're right.
And I said, we're going to surprise these boys. We're going to win this game. That's what I was thinking. Because you got to remember, Southeast Louisiana had not lost the home game in 20-something years.
That's right.
And I said, we're going to walk out here with a victory. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But, again, I also thought that there was no way in hell we was going to lose Alabama A&M either. No.
Even with the rain.
No. I call that drive. I said, watch us drive this ball down. Because we had them backpedaling. Because we were clicking. We were clicking until we got up there where the coaches stand. About the 30 or 40? And then it looked like we lost our mind.
First to 4.
Yeah, we lost our mind.
40.
We didn't know what we were doing. And again, I came out saying we let another one get away.
That linebacker, man, sat there right on the tight end. Everybody in the stand knew who they was getting ready to throw to. It wasn't a secret.
No. Our problem started before that.
I agree. I agree with that.
That whole sequence of plays was off.
But Ralph, there was a wide receiver wide open as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Those games are over. What do you do Saturday?
Win.
How do you do that?
We do the things that we're supposed to do and win. We start fast.
Have we done that in 4 games?
No.
Do you have hope you're going to do it in the 5th?
I think so. It's going to be a tough game, though. But again, like I said, Butterdam, it's not a team of excellence. They've had their problems, too. I bet if you look at that New Mexico game, they should have won that game.
The Alabama State have their problems? Not to go backwards.
Alabama State?
Yeah.
Not when they're playing us.
So, but what I'm saying is to qualify your statement.
What? Come on. Well, what? Because I said in that whole game, we making this quarterback looking a hell of a lot better than what he really is.
But that's what I'm saying. So,
oh, you said
does the switch automatically flip?
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm asking.
You
Mike.
said, okay, so what changes? So,
That's what I want to know. Like, because we have made people look,
we made him look good.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
I think if we start off fast Saturday, if we just decide to say, you know what, we just gonna play Wildcat football, and we're going to start off fast. That's our shot right there.
Definitely so. Caller, you're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome. I mean, what's happening in Daytona Beach, Florida? We're trying to get our identity as a football team, and every week every Saturday, Thursday night, Saturday, you're looking for that identity, and you're hoping that, this Saturday as we travel down 95 and go up into Orangeburg that you find it.
Well, I don't think you're the only one.
We just have to, we have to put all facets of everything together. And right now, I don't have that feeling that it's there yet. Right, definitely. And I think we're finding those guys as we view practice. They're identifying themselves more and more, and this Saturday will be a big test, and we just have to show up. We gave a team grade overall because they're a team grade. So, well, the team is only. Well, we'll see this Saturday, Mr. Walker. We'll see. Thank you, sir, for calling the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show, and we look forward to talking to you next Thursday. Yes, sir.
Right.
Hell Wildcats. Yes,
right.
sir. Have a good night. All right, guys. I need final score predictions. It's that time. Give me your closing remarks.
Okay, so I changed my score, and I'm thinking it's going to be 13-10. And I'm calling the Wildcats on top. Actually, I think we're going to score first. And that's what's going to set the tone. Knowing Buddy,
Who's going to score last if it's 13-10?
the kicker. Our kicker.
Okay.
Our kicker.
Wearing which color?
Our kicker is going to kick the last field goal, and we're going to win. That's my prediction, folks.
Well, of course, I'm going with the Wildcats as well, but my score is a little different. I got the Wildcats 35, South Carolina State 27.
35-27 by Mr. Cruz. Fans, input your score into our Facebook live stream and on our YouTube live stream. We want to hear from you. What's your score predictions for this week, guys? Going up to Orangeburg, South Carolina, our Wildcats take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, up in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I think it's Hall of Fame game week up in South Carolina State. If you're wanting to go up there, we have a bus going. Let's go wildcats.org/fanbus to SCSU. Join us on the bus. Let's go up to South Carolina State and knock off those Bulldogs. Guys, for Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. C.C. Cruz, I'm Gerald Williams. Hail Wildcats, and have a good night.
stop bubbling.